Good morning, everybody,
Morning.
and welcome to Arlington Life Live. I never know what it is. Is it live?
Whatever.
Is it live?
Yes.
Whatever. We're here, and it's a good day,
Happy
and it's
Sabbath.
a happy Sabbath, and we just want to welcome you.
Hi.
Welcome, James.
Welcome, Karla.
Thank you.
We are the Dechavez family.
Yes, we are. So it's a special weekend. It's 4th of July.
Yes.
To me, this holiday means a little bit extra because I'm actually a U.S. citizen now.
Yay.
Yeah, it's been
Really?
a few years, but I always feel like 4th of July is like the ultimate holiday
Yes.
for a U.S. citizen, somebody who used to not be a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good time. It's a good weekend. I was going to say, what are you doing this weekend?
Whatever
you're
you're
doing, I'm doing.
We're doing this together. But
So anyway, yeah, welcome and happy 4th of July weekend.
Yep.
What you got for us, James?
Well, first off, we have, and I tried to get a copy of this book. I can't, but you will be able to get one next week. You get to meet the authors. Our very own Ernie Pyle and Rob Shepard have published a new book, and it's called 40 Days, Understanding the Heart and Mind of God. And join us next Sabbath, July 10th, from 9:45 to 10:15 to get your copy. And you can even get it signed by them. So they will be here. So
Ooh,
y'all pull up.
Yes, come get an autograph.
Oh yeah, here's what the book is about. It is a 40-day journey into the heart and mind of God, taking a closer look at Jesus' days in the wilderness at the start of his ministry. Ernie and Rob are excited to see you guys and to share this project with their home church. So you guys come on out and check them out.
Yeah, if you've ever heard Ernie and Rob live, they've done several seminars here.
Yep.
I mean, their stuff is really good. So don't miss out on that next week.
Yep.
Also, we have the Gateway Student Conference 2021.
Hey.
So if you are in high school, we want to invite you to join our UG family at the Gateway Student Conference. It's from July 14 to 16 at Gateway Church in Southlake. Registration does close on July 10, though, so make sure you get details from ugyouth.com. So that's going to be an exciting time for our high school people.
All right. Now, Arlington Life Online. If you aren't receiving our weekly newsletter that's called Arlington Life Online, what are you doing with your life? So you can get it through your email. You got an email, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay. Are you subscribed?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you can go to arlingtonadventist.com and scroll down to Arlington Life Online and hit subscribe. I mean, you probably do that on to all this
YouTube.
Stuff that we do online. Yeah. So do that.
So you can do it for Arlington Life.
Yes. And you can also access the latest issue at the same location on the Arlington Church website.
Yeah. So don't forget.
Yo.
Speaking of Arlington Life, I feel like we're getting really fancy now.
Yeah.
Like our set looks really good compared
shout out to the
when
teal
it
seats. We miss you, but
I know,
these are comfy.
I know. But if you want to see a past episode of this program, this broadcast, this fanciness of Arlington Life, we are uploading them to our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel.
What?
How fun.
Subscribe to that.
YouTube.com/Arlington Adventist. There's a playlist on there, and you can watch past episodes of this small broadcast, which I think is actually very helpful because lots of announcements are given, lots of things are talked about.
Yep.
We meet so many of our different church members,
Yes.
and if you've been watching online this whole time through this pandemic, it's so nice to be able to see our members.
My birthday party was on one of these episodes. I was here, and people started wishing me happy birthday and singing me happy birthday.
And we sang, and there was presents, and
very awkward because I had no idea what was happening, but it happened.
so if you want to go watch that one, it's the March 5 episode.
March 5. Yep.
All right, let's talk about Revive.
Revive. Yes.
Revive. Fantastic ministry that we have here
Shout
at
out to
our
Pastor
church.
Heidi.
That's right.
See you.
Pastor Heidi does a fantastic job with that and all of the volunteers. So a really, really exciting announcement. We received a food grant from the Adventist Community Services.
Hey.
We applied for it after that February disaster, snowmageddon, ice apocalypse. Anyway, so we were granted the check of $2,850.
Let's go.
Yes, and that's going to go towards use of food for our food pantry.
Yes.
Excuse me. So we are excited. We cannot wait to use those funds. Of course, beyond grateful to see God work through this ministry and really just allow us to bless our community members.
Right.
I used to work at a food bank, so I have a soft spot in my heart for food distribution. But I mean, seeing Revive and seeing all the things that they do,
Yes.
it's awesome.
Very important.
I mean, they're
to our
doing
community.
such a good job. And
Our
now
church
this
family.
grant will allow us to do even more. So we're really excited about that.
Yes.
What else you got, James?
All right, yes. Speaking of Revive, we have the next food pantry and clothing store is on July 14th. So if you have an immediate need, please contact the office, reach out, and let us know what you need. Now, here are the big things that we are collecting. We are collecting rice, canned beans, and diapers. We're kind of known as kind of like the visual people.
Yes. We always have props.
Yes, we were kind of light on them. On the rice part, I ate it all. So,
Also, you don't want us to bring our rice container
Yes,
because
it's-
it's literally
yeah.
this tall
yes,
because Filipino,
it's
Mexican
what we
rice.
eat. I
we
do
do.
have some beans. So, if you need,
If you don't know what canned beans looks like, this is
There
it
you
right
go.
here.
You
So go
got
ahead
it.
and bring those in. And then, of course, diapers.
diapers, we
Thank
didn't
God
have.
we don't have any of
We
those
don't.
anymore.
No.
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 We're good.
But either way, please, those are the things that they're requesting. So please donate and give what you can.
Yes. So we talked about 4th of July weekend being this weekend. We're really excited. Let's take a look at a quick video, and then we'll keep going with our program. All right, we are back. Good morning again, and welcome again to Arlington Live. I'm really excited. I feel like every time Pastor Tom asks me to host these things, I always get really cool interviews and interviewees. So today is a special Sabbath for me because this is my great, great friend. This is one of my best friends, Kristina Busch.
Hello, Karla.
Hi.
Dechavez.
Hi, Kristina Busch. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good, good. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
I don't know if
It's
you
good
guys
to be
know,
here.
Yeah, you guys are about to find out a lot more about Kristina. So we're just gonna cut to the chase.
Go for it.
We're gonna get to the very beginning. Tell me a little bit about how you ended up at Arlington.
Okay, so actually the first time I ended up at Arlington was through Burton Academy.
Okay.
So I did my last 2 years here and really liked this, really liked the church, really liked the school. My impression was that it was very supportive of the school and a place where the teens could feel comfortable, never had any problems, whispering on the second floor, but everyone kind of kept it together because we liked the church.
Yeah.
So that was my first encounter and it was very positive. So then I went to Southwestern where we met.
Woohoo.
And after college and I started working, I moved back into the area. And it was kind of a no-brainer to come back here because it was, at this point, I'm no longer a teenager, I'm a young adult. And so the young adult service was great. And I knew they had I was working for the church. And so I'd had a behind-the-scenes experience a little bit as far as church organization. And so I knew that this church had supportive staff, a supportive pastoral staff, had a lot of vibrant ministries, and was willing and open to try some new things. And so it was just very appealing.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was a no-brainer. no-brainer. I moved back into Arlington in around 2010, close to Mansfield, and so came back here, and this is where I've been since then.
Yay, awesome. So if you guys didn't know, Kristina works for the Southwestern Union, and there might be some folk who don't actually know what the Southwestern Union is. So talk to us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah.
Tell me about your career, because of course we talked about, we met at Southwestern, communication majors unite. Yes, we have that in common, of course. But your communications career has been spent entirely through the Adventist Church. Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about that and how it led you to the Union.
Yeah, and that was really unexpected. I was getting ready to graduate in May. It was about March, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but the Lord will provide, and He did. And in March, I was actually contacted by the communication director at the Texas conference, and so they were starting a new magazine. So this is 2006, and so they were starting a new magazine, and they needed to translate it. So in the Texas conference at the time, and I still believe the membership is about 40% of the membership go to Hispanic churches, go to Spanish-speaking churches. And so those members, those families received the magazine in Spanish, and that was the Flame magazine. So as that magazine was getting launched, they wanted to make sure they had someone that could professionally help with Spanish, and I had majored in broadcasting and minored in Spanish. So I get that call, and that's where I was for 11 years.
Which, by the way, let me interrupt you and tell you guys a little bit. If you ever want to hear the most fantastic Spanish, talk to Kristina in Spanish.
You're so sweet.
Because Argentina Spanish is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It's completely different from my Mexican Spanish, but
it's just different.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love
She makes me pray. When we eat, she makes me pray in Spanish. So it was just a really wonderful experience to start that, and it was totally unexpected. I thought my career would go into radio, which I really liked, and I worked at the radio station. And I said it was March, and I was going to graduate in 2 months, and this was the enormous door that was opening for me. So I went down that path, and I also learned at that point, I'm like 21 years old. I'm not exactly sure how church structure works. So little lesson. So our local churches all work with their conferences. So the way that our organization is set up is that we have our first, I'll say like baseline headquarters, that really helps to support and provide resources and provide salaries for like pastors and schools and churches. And those are our conference levels. And so our conference in Texas is located in Alvarado. And after the conference level, you have the union level. And so there are 9 unions in the North American division. And the union's role is to support these conferences. So in our union, we have 5 conferences that cover 5 states. And so those include Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. And so our role in the union then is to be the counterparts of these different ministries to be able to provide mentorship, counsel, resources, support. And so when I was in Texas, and for example, I'm in the communication department, those communication directors are providing leadership and resources and support to the churches. So Texas has several hundred churches. I think they have about 300 churches. Some of our other conferences have smaller churches, but your local church communication director or your clerk or your AV person is calling the conference to get, resources, support, and information. And it's a conference level that's providing the on-the-ground training and information and, courses and things like that. So at our level, we try to make sure that our 5 counterparts at the conferences are being supported and served. And so that means that in some of our different ministries that sometimes we do things at the union level, like we'll have a Pathfinder camporee, like we're having in the fall. That's at the union level. And so that happens every couple of years. And so this is a great opportunity. The other thing that it does is we have such a vast territory that it brings everyone together. So we have women's retreats that are union level every couple of years. And so this just also gives us an opportunity to bolster those ministries. And so our day-to-day is being in phone calls, being involved in like brainstorming sessions, and sometimes some crisis management, situations where we're trying to resolve problems or help the different ministries. And this is everyone at the union level, help the different ministries work through something, a challenge that they might have. In communication particularly, after I worked on the Flame for 11 years, I moved over to the union, and now we're on the record.
Okay.
And so the Record is a historical magazine, as many of our union magazines are. And I believe we're celebrating next year our 120th anniversary. Yes.
120 years of the Record?
120 years of the Record, yes.
Wow.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that issue.
So it's very interesting because this was the official channel. So this is the official news channel of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in this region, which means a lot of our conferences and even in our union, it's written into our constitution and bylaws.
Yeah.
Like when you have public meetings, they have to be used through this channel. So it's not just something, you know, a lot of times we're like, oh, it's a magazine. No, it has this, it has that. But it's actually like this historical official channel that we've had. And it's gone through several transformations over the years, the same way our, you know, culture and our environment, our society transforms. We want to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our readers and of our members.
Yeah.
And so when I joined, we went through a bit of a revamp, and it's been a bit of a challenge because the written word in print has become a medium that's not as important maybe, or to some members, not as...
So that was going to be one of my questions is how are you guys kind of keeping up with the times, for lack of a better term?
Yes.
I mean, how many times do we go to the store and actually pick up a magazine?
Right.
No, we read stuff off our tablets, off our phones. So what are we doing to keep up with that?
Yeah. So we can't just get rid of, because it's so historical, and because we still get mail, because we still read some things in print,
and because shouldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, no. And we have a lot of members that really value the print. And I remember growing up, I mean, I would take it and I'd flip to the Texas section to see if there was anybody that I knew in that section. You know, even as a teenager, I still thought it was interesting to see. So what we did when we revamped this about 4 years ago is we took it to be a bi-monthly. So we are cut down on some of our costs of printing every single month, and that was just, it was taking a lot of, the production was really huge for it. So we made it bi-monthly so that we could have a little bit more focus on the actual content that we were doing. And that in turn freed us up, that's 6 issues less that we're doing, to be able to launch our online platform, which is swurecord.org.
There you go.
And so we have there built a platform for this news to be shared, these stories to be shared in a very online-friendly manner. So we also have the magazine, if you'd like to flip through the actual print designed layout magazine, that's on issue.com. You can do a search for Southwestern Adventist, Southwestern Union, of Seventh-day Adventist. And you can flip through a digital version. But we have our social media channels and we have our website that live kind of organically. And so we're able to share these stories and have people land on that page without having to be like, oh, I need to flip to a certain section. No, you just kind of can scroll through, and it's kind of a little bit blog styled. So you can find articles that are like meaningful to, you know, something that's helpful along your faith journey or something that's helpful for ministry. So we have our articles split up that way. So when we do our articles, we make sure that they meet all of those needs, that they'll be good for print and they'll be good for our readers at home, but also, you know, good online. So that's the other part of the challenge with communication, as you know, is that you're constantly innovating. And you have to. You have to. And it's kind of interesting, and it keeps you on your toes. So it's been an incredible ride. It's been very interesting. I remember at the Texas conference, I was the one who started our first MySpace page. Do you remember that? And that was for a youth event. So now, you know, we did Pinterest pages, we did Facebook, we did, you know, Instagram. So we've done, you know, the social media channels, and then also now to also reassess them and say, okay, now we're on all the platforms. But as you know, the content that you have on the platforms varies. You know, so sometimes you go to Facebook to find something a little bit different than you're looking for on Instagram, and some of the other platforms. So that is, in a very big nutshell,
all of the things that you do. Awesome. That sounds great. I think it's so important for us to know really the intricacies of, like, I want to say, like, the back office stuff of how our church functions. Because it's not just every church for its own. You know, we're all under the umbrella of the conference, which is under the umbrella of the union, which, you know, and that provides so many resources and so many things that you see happening here that we don't realize
Right.
come from our leaders at
Right.
the union or at the conference level.
Yeah. Well, and also all the behind the scenes work. I mean, if at your local church level, what it takes to do shindig.
Yeah.
It takes like months of preparation,
Yes.
talking to vendors, talking to volunteers.
Yes.
Okay, anytime any conference has any kind of event, it's the same thing. When the union has any kind of event, it's the same thing. So there's a lot of work that's done on the back end.
Right.
And so our job is to come through and say, okay, how can we help the Texas Conference with this event? How can we help
Yeah.
Arkansas, Louisiana with their event? And then when we do our events, they're also made up of, and it's not just events, it's training, it's resources, whether it's written or video. So there's a lot, and it really goes to show just how intertwined our church is, that we are not silos, that we all work and support each other in different ways. And then there's the North American division. So we have our counterparts there who are doing what we're doing with our conferences at the NAD to help the unions with some of our projects and initiatives and programs.
Right.
So
That's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot of work
It's
to
fun.
run
It is.
this massive organization,
It
which I think
is.
a lot of us don't realize how massive it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thank you so much for
You're
being
so
here today,
welcome.
for telling us.
Yeah.
I think I seriously have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Tell me about
Okay,
this.
we are expecting
Yay!
a little girl.
We're having a baby girl.
Yes, my husband Jason and I are expecting a baby girl mid to late October. She will
Yay!
be here. She's our little pumpkin coming in at the end of the year.
That's so
we're
exciting.
excited. Yes,
That's so
we've
exciting.
entered our 6th month, so pray for us for the
Yes.
next couple of months.
Yep, it's about to get real.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so
You're
much
so
for
welcome.
talking to us about the union and about all the wonderful things. I know God has placed you there for a very specific reason. And we talk about this all the time because so many different things happen
Yes.
that have kept you there and taken you
Yes.
back there and done anyway. It's fantastic. Ask her story sometime. Y'all, happy Sabbath. We're so glad that you joined us today. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Be safe. What was it that James was saying earlier? Don't hold the firecracker with your hand. Whatever.
No, like
Just
away from your face.
Away from your face. Anyway, y'all be safe. Have a happy Sabbath. YG is up next.